Damit möchte ich sehr herzlich begrüßen Mai Shatta. Mai Shatta wird den Vortrag in Englisch halten. Vielleicht, ich hoffe, dass das für alle soweit auch verständlich ist. Wer hätte vielleicht lieber mehr Unterstützung im Englischen? Vielleicht mal Hand hochhalten, wer da Schwierigkeiten hat, es zu verstehen. Geht soweit, sonst hatte nämlich David sich freundlicherweise bereit erklärt, dann das eine oder andere zu übersetzen dazu, aber insofern scheint das nicht nötig zu sein. Also deshalb vielen Dank auch an euch dafür. Mai Shatta, eine Aktivistin bei der Kurve Wustrow. Wir haben schon verschiedene Einführungen dazu jetzt erhalten, auch eine Trainerin im Bildungsbereich. Sie ist eine Aktivistin, die ursprünglich aus dem Sudan kommt, sich neben Arbeit zu Rassismus, Kolonialismus, worauf auch heute das Thema genauer zielt, auch mit den Kämpfen gegen weibliche Genitalverstümmelung auseinandersetzt und insofern auch als weiteres Projekt noch in dem Sudan-Projekt engagiert, auch hier in der Region. Damit vielen Dank, dass du heute hier bist und du hast das Wort und herzlichen Applaus und ich übergebe das Mikrofon.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't have a presentation that I can stand here, and I used to move a lot because I'm a trainer. And if you feel dizzy, tell me. Okay, as you know, they called me at 10 o'clock, no, 8 o'clock, that I have to come from Berlin to give an input because somebody gets sick. And it's like, yeah, I can do it. But it was a risk because to talk about a topic that's a few hours just later just to get information about it. Never mind. As he said, I'm an activist. I came from Sudan. I've been working here with different groups, and it's called My Bodies Belong to Me. It's mainly this group is a women group that is focusing in FGM, female genital mutilations. And the issue today that I would like to touch is about racism and colonial. And black women coming from Africa and coming from a country called Sudan has a new revolutions. Now we are success after 30 years to kick our president away and to celebrate, but still the celebration is going on because it's still the colonial roots is still there, because this is one of the cause of the problem that people forgetting that is any kind of conflict that being in any kind of countries that is colonial behind that, and we have a modern colonial. After we have a revolutions, then many countries they try to show their faces and try to support. But this is, we call it modern colonial. They come in after destroying everything, they want to build something together with you. You see house, building, broken, then coming up. Today I'm talking about my experience as a black woman living in Germany off and on. That racism, when it's coming, this word racism, immediately come white and black. Is it correct? So some people they say that yes. This is one of the things that dividing us. This is one of the things that was making hatredness and trying to build fears. Because for me, when I live in the society that 99% that white, I have big fears that those people, they will look to me as a different person, with different cultures, with different hairstyle, with different colors, and that is making the dividing, and trying people sometimes to defend themselves that we are not racist. Sometimes I'm not asking them, but say, oh, no, you misunderstand me because I'm not racist, but I meant it like this. These fears is systematically but being built and has a history. But most of the time we forget to speak about it. We try to avoid to talk about racism and colonial because we have a fear. We are not confident. Then we try to have a cover for it and try to have excuse and defend. We're all the time in the mood of defending, No, you misunderstand me. I'm not talking like this. I don't do it like this, And that doesn't give an air between us to speak and try to reflect. I'm not generalize all the white people that are racism. It's not correct. We have black people who are racism against black people. But when it's coming to racism, we put it black and white. And this is also one of the things that most of the time when I speak about racism, I say, hey, look to yourself. I came from Sudan. I came from an ethnic group that the majority was having power. We against our people in Sudan. Muslim against Christian, this is racism. We have a color problem in Sudan, this is racism. But when we go out of our country, we see racism only between black and white. And we're forgetting ourselves. Racism has a long journey that developed differently, but people, they don't give a chance to understand it, and they don't give a chance to explain it, what is the roots of this problem, and that is sometimes bringing conflict. And there's a lot of organizations now running to solve conflict. Peace and conflict, you see? Every organization, peace and conflict, but they never sit and understand what is the cost of the conflict. They try to most of the time to find the solutions, but they don't see or going back to see their problem. And that is why racism is increasing and become like a disease. And people start dividing each other. People, they have fears. People, they have hatredness. And this is one of the things that is, most of the organizations, they are really making like a mask. If I talk about racism, I'm a white person going to the place that, I will be offended by that. People, they will talk about it differently. I'm afraid. You know? Then try to look in the peace part, peace building. How to build peace, and then the people, they don't have the capacity to speak about something that really costing this problem to build it, you know? This is one of the things that is, when I started to work in Germany with Kurve, I had faced a lot of kind of, I'm the only black woman, like the majority in Kurve are white people. I was fighting to get in, you know? I'm not fighting to get in because of to be a black woman among white people, but I'm fighting to let the people see me visible. That the visibility, it can also build a trust and communications and build kind of love between us. To understand the person, to understand where they came from, not to see the faces or the color and then run away. When I came, I was having fears that is, the majority was 99% white people. How am I gonna be with them? Then I try to think positively. You're more close, you more understand the people. You more start to explain who you are, but not all the time. People, they can understand and they can learn and exchange. This is my aim when I came to Kova. And then I was taking this long journey with them for 7 years now as a trainer. I'm happy to be, but sometimes I have to stop and say it loud. There's something that cannot go like this way. We should think about it and talk about it. And I feel that it's my duty also for my community. That is, we have the African community in Berlin. I live in Berlin. I'm working in Niedersachsen here also. Most of the time I said, we don't like white people to hold our speech. We don't like white people to hold our organizations. Who are the white people? They're human beings. Who are the black people? They're human beings. But if we try to push each other, we lose energy, we come to conflict, hatredness, dividing, scattering, then we split it to community, and that is happening here, especially in Hanover. I'm been working with some group to fight that is, yes, personally myself, I'm facing everyday life racism. Today I came with my friend from Berlin. There are guys from the U-Bahn having a bottle of beer. Then he smashed it and put he starts talking like bullshit, She just came and she told me that I think one of the drunk people, because today is Saturday, yeah? In Berlin it's like crazy. Yes, he told her that it's tears, like animals. And people, they was somehow try to protect her. This is every day we are facing as black people. I came, because I'm traveling a lot, one time, just example, I came to the plane, and the plane all white. I came late. Most of the time I came late. I don't know why. I go to the airport early, but I came late to the plane. And then I have a first class because I have back problem. And I have to travel to Taiwan. Then the guy who was white, he told me, you should go to the economic class. And I said, where am I sit here? Why? He said, no, this is a first class. It's a first class. Then I was waited, and then I asked him, please, this is my place, I can sit. He said, no, this is a first class, you can go back. You know? You see, the pictures of white black people, that they are not capable to have like first class in the airplane. They are not capable, they have to educations. And most of the time people ask me, are you married to German? Because you are here? I said, no. Are you studying? No. What you are doing here? Holiday? No, I'm living here. I'm a computer engineer. I'm doing this and this. Then the tone immediately starts changing. And sometimes from your dress, they try to communicate with you. If you are hippies and coming like this, they start also taking distance. This is, the pictures was built and has a history. For me, I used to it. I don't feel that offended most of the time, but I try to have a conversations and talk to this person. What do you think? These people with color, they don't have right to be in the first class, and we had this long journey for 17 hours to China. We were speaking, and we exchanged our number, and he was saying, no, I don't mean it like this. You know, you defend mood magazine, like coming to defend yourself all the time is tiring. And saying, no, you misunderstand me because I said this number is not, the seat number is not yours, you know? And I said, let's have a conversation sometimes is better. People, they can understand from each other. They can also feel each other's. Racism doesn't have a place. If you talk about it, it can be here in this room, it can be outside. And how we can feel it that is racism, because sometimes because we are in the mood of defending, we are in the mood of fears that if somebody in the room says something or make like this, they're racism. And immediately it coming, okay, because he's white, I have to protect myself. And this protection is also one of the psychological problem, you know. I used to travel a lot to Salzwedel. In the beginning, to go to cover, I'm avoiding to go at night if I have a training. Because one time I get beaten in the stations, and I have my friend, she just went to the platform, and then I have to buy something, and the guy, he came and hit me. And then I was starting to speak with him, and he started hitting me again, and I said, look, I'm in the queue before you, but why you are hitting me? He said, she's Africana, you know? But he's also, but I try to have a conversations. And the owner of the shop, she started afraid that I'm gonna get mad or I beat him, but no. I try to have eye contact and talk to him. I'm a human being like you. We can have a conversation. If I make a mistake, you can correct me, but you don't have to hit me. This is our daily life as a black people or people with color. We are facing different kind of racism with different journey. Coming to the society that we live, when we try to talk about colonial and racism, people, they start building the fears and try to avoid that. They want to avoid it because one of the reasons that they want to avoid it, because they feel guilty about it. The guiltiness that is surrounding the people, I can see it clearly when I spoke with people. And when sometimes I'm presenting something, and some people, I'm sure they get offended what I'm saying, but it's a reality. And most of the time, we try to avoid this reality and try to just build something that make us comfortable, protecting us. And this is what I'm saying. Racism is becoming like a disease. It's growing because we're avoiding it. We try to move it away from our way. We try to see a solution for building peace and working with people that is, at least they don't talk about this issue and try to avoid any kind of thing that making us shaky, you know. And this is one of the things that I'm really tired about it, because most of the organizations, they try to run, for example, going to my country now, peace building and conflict resolutions, you know. But, okay, we build peace and then conflict, we solve it. Yeah, in terms of organization, we solve the conflict. But what is the cost here? They have roots of problem. They structures violence, they structure racism. If you don't look to that part, you will fall again. And you collapse, and you come to the zero again. This is one of the things that is, we should be aware about it. We should talk about it in open, and no fears around. And that will build a trust, and we will build kind of, not peace building, but trust building. And then people, they can see how we can go do it together, because we are living in the same society. Why we hit each others? Why you don't listen to each others? I don't get it sometimes. If I'm sitting, I came from a country that have a culture, I'm laughing a lot, and we are dancing, we are happy people. When I came to Germany, people, and sometimes in the train, you know, I'm just sometimes, I don't understand it. Or somebody in the train when we are laughing, shh, you know, most of the time, langsam. You don't know what to do. You know, you have to sit like this for 3-4 hours to come to Hanover, and then you have the fears. Maybe somebody will be irritated, somebody will be, don't like your voice, you know? And sometimes people following you with their eyes. If you go to the toilet, they look to you, and then you come back. And sometimes I'm standing in the middle of the train, just looking to them, you know? I'm here. You don't have to be afraid about me. You know, this is kind of thing that is really dividing us, and it's painful. We should look, those organizations talking about peace building and conflict and la la la, you should look back to this thing, because it's important. If now we have a modern, we as African people, we call it modern colonia, that is migrant. You know, the migrant, they came to Europe, they colonialized by European here, and make it easy for the European. They don't go back to the country, they colonize the country. But they have the people here, and they start this modern colonia. Slavery is happening. People, they get €1 job. People, they don't got education. You be in the lager for 6-7 months without education, without right to move. Freedom of movement is forbidden. This is term of modern colonia. It's easy that those people, they come to us, but we can colonize them. And we can benefit from that. Because benefit, when I call about benefit, that is they destroy your country. People, they come here, they colonize the people, they slave the people, and then they go back to build your country. But they go in with agenda. Resources, not human being. And this is one of the dangerous things. I see it since we had the revolution now in my country. A lot of peace organizations, human rights organizations, they're bagging their back luggage and going to Sudan. They want to build peace in Sudan. They want to have good faith with the transition government. Although that is for 30 years we've been killed, we've been destroyed, we've been in exile because of the support of the international community. But now, when we had a new country or new transition government, everybody in favor to help, you know? And this is a modern colonia. You don't come directly before they are coming and grabbing the land and people, but this time they have a different kind of way, different kind of structure, through organizations, companies, to enter the country and try to show that we are willing to help. What kind of help if you're oppressing the people? What kind of help if you are colonizing the people? What kind of help if you are racism? and you have a resume structure that you are carrying now with you. And that is so hard. It's affecting all the people and affecting us who are living here in the society. And that is also making the big gap between us, you know, because we don't understand each other very well because we have a fear. We try to avoid to be together because that is also make people sometimes afraid. If the same thing happen, if black people, majority of black people, imagine all black, white person come, people they try to sort themselves, you know, but you don't know for what. But the fears is what's mentally is what's reflecting to that, you know. If for me, I used to come, yeah, I'm living here, most of the people white, but they have to upgrade. But some people they said, oh, they all white, I cannot be in the stage, you know, I cannot be speaking because I'm afraid. Word afraid is what's building and increasing now. And this is our duty for this day. To stop racism, we have to look for the roots of the problem. We have to involve racism in our daily life, in our work, to talk about it. Just have a minute. Try to understand what is the problem. Why these people is here? Why these black people is in Hanover? We have 60,000 refugees from my country just living here, you know? We have more than that. That is the statistic for 2015. We have been occupying this place here to show that we have a problem. We don't like to stay here because we want to stay here, but we have a problem in our country and we need to have a safe place. If you don't feel safe and if you don't feel secure, you never go one step. We are fighting. Myself fighting every day to have one step, just one step, not 3, 4, because it is not easy. You have to measure every kind of step that you take in it, because it can cause the problem. One thing, because here the people, they don't understand you, they don't understand your culture, and the fears that is what's shaking your body every day is affecting your brain. Sometimes you can make a small mistake, and that mistake, you don't have any kind of solution for it because you're afraid how to solve it. And here I said law. Because of the law, you have to do this and this. And the fears of law, that is also increasing the mental problem, you know. You see many people, they get crazy sometimes because they don't used to. They come from war, they integrate it to integration course. They don't integrate it to the community to speak. Putting you in one box and expecting everything from you. And this is racism. They're expecting that you learn the language in 6 months. They're expecting that you be a German very quick, to eat cheese and bread, brown bread in the morning, and try to speak yeah like this. And they're expecting that you integrate it in this society to be straightforward and having the German culture, and this is racism. Thank you so much. And this is one of the experience that I have. I'm being here in this country for off and on because I'm traveling a lot. I'm not somehow integrated. They said in the Auslanderwort I am integrated 80%. I said, what is 80%? Because I want to apply for German passport. They said, yes, you integrated 80%. And I was really saying that she's first German, nice women at the Ausländerbehörde making fun with, chatting with me. And I don't take it serious. Then I was handling my paper. They said to me, you're working, you don't get money from the job center. You educated. She get everything. I'm paying rent, I'm paying everything since when I'm here. Then I said, what about the 20%? She said the 20%, that is one thing that you have to have rent physician because this is missing. You see? That is the 20%. Then I said, okay. Then I had to pay for 4 years rent physician in one time, one go. I want to complete the 20%. Then I went to the 20%. I brought the 20%. They said, they're missing something. What is it? He said, your birth certificate. I said, I'm blacklisted in my country, and I was in prison, and but how I can bring paper from the authority that was violated me, and they're searching about me, and to bring it here. He said, yeah, find a way to bring it. And if you get German passport, you don't get two passports. You don't get the Sudanese passport. You will be German. I said, okay, I can be German as long as you give me the 20%. You see how racism was being structured? And many cases and many stories, but I have antibiotic in my body. When coming, I reflected back. Before, in the beginning, I was really, really angry about it. I had many times I went down because sometimes no chance to speak. They start speaking with you and throwing you out. But I try to build this kind of strong power, energy to speak. Yes, we are gonna speak together, you like it or not. I force you to speak with me, listen to me. And sometimes I start to come to the office, I just speak, and then what you need, Then now she can listen, You have to have a courage for it. And you have to face it, because it's not an easy thing. And the same thing that many people now, they get lost here in this country because they're afraid. They can't stand, they can't speak, They're afraid about the law. When they see police here, everybody was going to the corner because they're afraid of police. Because one thing, police, German police, avoid the German police in the integration course, avoid the German police. Avoiding this and this, avoiding to cross the street when it's red, avoiding to do this and this, When you fool the people with fears, they never learn. If you expect them to be like you, they never learn and cannot contribute to this world. Let them do what they want and fail, and then again stand up, and then they can learn, I cannot be like you, and I cannot be like you, and you cannot be like me. But we can have to combine everything together, and we can live together. And this is why we need a healthy community, healthy world that we can live together and contribute to each other, and not just dividing ourselves. As I said, racism has this in place. Racism is a disease, we have to stop it. Thank you so much. If you have any question, let me know. If not, then we try to see what is the moderator would say. Thank you so much.